Let this be a message to everyone. Life comes at you fast. In a summer where I've been praising Spurs for finally acting like a big club and criticising Arsenal transfers, saying that they've been relatively underwhelming for a team trying to fight for the title, suddenly BERTA, with an RKO out of nowhere, flips their tables to show that in the end it is always the case that it is the history of the Tottenham. They are always just missing a little bit something to arrive at the end. Arsenal have snatched Amenyah EZE from the hands of Tottenham Hotspur. They thought they had him. They were making lineups. They were buying the shirts. They were creating their chants and whatnot. Lo and behold, he is there in an Arsenal shirt because they took too long to get the job done. Again, a life lesson. So today, we're going to discuss obviously the turn of events from how this happened, from Spurs almost certainly signing him to him being an Arsenal player. What does it mean for Arsenal? What does it mean for Spurs? As I said, it did not start like this at all. This was one of the fastest moves I've seen Arsenal make in a very, very long time, because initially, it was all Spurs. They were doing all the memes. They were editing Odegaard, holding their camera. But guys, this is not how life works. You know, you cannot keep on laughing at people that, respectfully to everyone, there is a food chain. So our understanding, obviously, look, you're going to be excited at EZE Day arriving, right? Spurs were heavily linked with EZE, and obviously Maddison's injury kind of accelerated that, because now we know he's out for pretty much the entire season. So it felt like, alright, it was just waiting for the here we go. So day in, day out, Spurs fans are waiting. Fabrizio, please, where is the here we go? David Ornstein, please, where is exclusive? My man, El Chiringuito, where is Bombasso? Exclusiva, where is it? It wasn't arriving. And why is that? Amenyah EZE's childhood dream was always to play for Arsenal. It is why when Arteta and BERTA came knocking, he did not care to look at the terms and conditions. He pressed accept, accept, accept. Don't show me anything. So, to Tottenham fans, this may be a story of deception and betrayal akin to that of Sol Campbell back in 2001, for those of us who remember. But to others, it's a story of perseverance and determination. A man who put all his faith in God, unwavering in his belief that one day things would turn out okay, and at long last, his prayers have been answered. When Daniel Levy's there on the phone saying, "You're all right, Ebbs, mate? You're all right? You still down to come to Tottenham, yeah?" EZE's there saying, "Yeah, trust. You know them ones? My Muslim brothers, if you know. There was a time, I remember, it used to be Ramadan, like 2018, right? And I used to play Ultimate Team with my Muslim friends, and they would go mosque and come back and whatnot. And I'll ask them, like, yo, we playing today? Like, it's like 1 a.m, it's like Tarawih or whatever you man call it. They're like, yeah, inshallah. I quickly realized that when someone says, yeah, trust, inshallah, that means it's not happening, bro. I'm not coming, fam. Or let me put it in a more global terms for you, man. When you're telling someone like, yo, like, we'll link soon, like, when are we going to see each other, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, yeah, no. I'll let you know. He's done an I'll let you know thing, because deep down he knows that he only wants to go to Arsenal. Spurs thinking they were the guys because they won the Europa League. Yeah, let me give you like a life example, if you will. Remember when you were in year 7, you've just finished year 6, you're the big dog, you're sitting on the wooden benches back in year 6, you're up in year 7 and thinking, yeah, I'm the guy now, I'm a big boy now. You go to play football on the field, on the hard courts. The year 11s, they start taking your ball and doing rondos with it. You got Man City slapping their head with Savinho. You've got Mr. Marinakis and Nottingham Forest slapping their head for Morgan Gibbs-White. And now you have Arsenal, the big bros, elbowing them, not only taking the ball, but telling them, yo, do star jumps for me right now. Let me hear if you got money in your pockets. And that money, you're going to use it to buy my donuts, to buy my cookies, to buy my Lucozade. And guess what? I'm going to collect your money and you're still not getting the goods. I'm taking the goods back. This is what is happening to Spurs right now. I think there's a moment of realization that maybe that Europa League does not hold as much weight as they seem to have thought it did. And if it wasn't a case of like the clubs and the hierarchies and whatever, let me show you something, right? This video here, okay? EZE speaking in 2018 saying Arsenal was his favourite club, blah, 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 blah. He used to play for Arsenal as a boy. I get all of that. Of course, no problem. The really important part of this video is when the guy behind the camera, sorry, I don't know who he is, John 9A or something, I guess that's the guy that made the video. I don't know who he is, apologies. He asked him, who do you think is going to win the league? He said, yeah, I think Arsenal can do it this year. Guys, 2018, this is an Arsenal that was lining up with Socrates and Mustafi as the centre-back pairing, protecting a Petr Cech, who was so washed by this point that every single goal kick, he's booting it to the advertising boards when Bellerin's asking for a short little pass. To predict or to think Arsenal can win the league in 2018, that is not like, yeah, I like Arsenal. That's like a, you know, they're cool. I like how they play. I like Henry. That is, I love Arsenal to the point of delusion. And yet Spurs fans still thought he was going to go to that club. They were saying, oh, yeah, he picked us over Arsenal because he didn't want to retire from trophies and whatnot. Understand, there is a pecking order. Another tweet I want to show you guys. This, for me, is the moment it all went wrong. Big up the mate Fouad Kadani. My thoughts are with you. I mean, they're not really. I respect your thing, but my thoughts aren't with you at this moment. So at a point yesterday, Tottenham said, we're going to offer Richarlison and whatnot in the Eze deal because we want to focus on Wissa here as well. I said, uh-oh, this don't seem right. So whilst they're getting excited, they're doing their Shrek memes, thinking that, all right, how does this make sense? I thought everything was agreed. Now you're offering Richarlison. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if you thought you were doing like a Alex Hunter thing, where you tell him, no, yo, remember when Arsenal rejected you as a 13-year-old? Haha, let's go and get them back. And to be fair, for many people, many neutrals, it may have seemed the case, right? You think, you know what, Eze, Arsenal aren't coming in for him, so if you're not going to come true, you might as well go to Tottenham. It's a bit like, I guess, when Fabregas, after leaving Barca, wanted to go to Arsenal. They were like, nah, we're cool, we got Ozil, etc. He said, all right, I'm going to go to Chelsea. I love Arsenal, but I'm going to go to Chelsea. So maybe they thought that was what was going to happen here. Unfortunately for them, it was anything but the case, because what happened next? Something that Arsenal fans are calling a top 5 knee injury of all time they're talking about. Kai Havertz yesterday. I was just sitting there streaming. I think I was doing like a watch along for my second ever SDS appearance. So we're all watching the episode together. We're having fun. And I see bare Arsenal fans spamming my chat saying, yo, Havertz down, Havertz down. I'm like, oh, okay, fairs. Like, sorry guys or whatever. You man gonna get like a replacement or what's happening? No news of Eze whatsoever. I end stream. I even go and record the video that you guys just saw last night. I went to record a video of ranking Arsenal's 40 most expensive signings ever, because I've been doing that for every team. I finished recording. Bang! I see this. Crystal Palace accept tonight's 60 million package from Arsenal for Eberechi Eze. Rather, there was one tweet before that. It said, Arsenal have made contact. The 27-year-old wants Arsenal. At that point, you know, it's over. This is a tale as long as time itself. You can look at from Sol Campbell days when he said, yeah, I'm staying. That was their captain. And then a few days later, you see my man rock up with Arsene Wenger at Coney, holding the shirt together, smiling as if nothing had just happened. The Spurs fans, pre-social media, could not believe their eyes. Obviously now they've been given time to prepare. But even still, I'm seeing insane crash outs. I'll put a thumbnail on the screen. I'm just scrolling my YouTube and I see Tapin Tobes. The guy, he didn't even get like his thumbnail designer or nothing. He just was walking down the street yelling in anger at just this tweet alone. It had not even been confirmed as like a bombasso or anything like that. Just this tweet alone. And next thing you know, Eberechi Eze to Arsenal. Here we go. Verbal agreement in place between all parties. Look, I don't know how much Crystal Palace knew about this. Evidently, Spurs were not told. But again, it is an unfortunate way of life, right? I feel for them in a way, because you've had a clean run at Eze for 2, 3, 4 weeks now, essentially, since Arsenal decided, you know what, we're not really on it anymore. Probably we're going to get Nwaneri pattern and that. But then I'm thinking, you know what? The way that Arteta does all these scams and whatever, you know, mental warfare games, I reckon he's done it on purpose. Do you remember when this guy hired pickpocketers at a team dinner or whatever to rob their phones and their wallets as a lesson to always stay alert in games after what happened? But I can't lie, Arteta's jokes, bro. I'll be honest, Arteta's funny. I know Bear Man hate on him and that, but that guy is funny. He is like, he should be in the office. But anyway, as besides the point, I reckon what he's done here, he's told the Cronkies, yo man, you're not gonna believe it, dog. I don't know why I said dog, as if Arteta's saying dog. Hermano, you're not gonna believe it, man. Oh man, Kai Havertz done his ACL, bro. What are we gonna do about this, Cronkies? Damn, I can't believe it. And obviously Dev now panicked and said, okay, do you know what? we have to accelerate this EZE thing. We were looking at him a little bit here and there. We have to go full guns blazing for Eberechi Eze. They've signed him. It wouldn't shock me if I see Havertz in the lineup by like next week. 2 weeks from now, Havertz is there. He's magically fit. Arteta just played that card to say, listen, I need someone that can play as a left winger or a 10. And this is the best way he could do it. Fair enough. We'll get the news that, yeah, Havertz is not out till 2026. Actually, it's only 1 month or maybe even 2 months. You wait for it, guys. He will be playing in 2025. I wasn't even there for the injury. Well, I mean, obviously, I guess we all saw it because big up Ugarte, probably for Arsenal fans, his greatest ever contribution to the sport. Ugarte has finally done something positive in his career. So I guess big ups to him. What does it mean for Arsenal? Well, you've got a man that was desperate to join the club. Obviously, that he has loved from a boy. His family is Arsenal. He's a Crystal Palace legend. And I think they're happy that he's able to get the move as well. Because, listen, he's delivered them, you know, I mean, their first ever trophy of any variety. So wherever he goes, bro, they were going to say, you know what? Big respect. Thank you, bro. Stylistically, I'm going to be completely honest. I think it's the kind of player where, if available, you do whatever you can to just make it happen. Because let's be 100% honest, it doesn't make that much sense for what they need specifically. If we are to assume that Lewis Skelly is the first choice left back, someone that likes to invert, then you probably are looking for like a touchline left winger. But in games where Calafiori starts, Eze's perfect. Likewise in the 10, there can be games maybe where obviously Odegaard's your captain, so you're not really going to drop him. But why not experiment playing him as the left of a midfield 3 and have Eze on the right there, linking up with Saka perhaps even. So it's someone that is definitely versatile. But listen, BERTA, I know this guy's a magician, but I do still believe there is one missing slot in that team. Someone like a Ademola Lookman, someone that can be a striker. So that way you've covered everything fully. So they can play on the wing if they have to, or they can play down the middle. Because obviously, look, nobody likes to see injuries and whatnot. So Kai Havertz, unfortunately, will be out for however long it is. I don't know. That means Gyökeres is your only striker. And then you're looking at guys like Mikel Merino. So unless, you know, I would never put anything so bad out there like that. But unless Mikel Merino also wants to do his ACL and then they go and get a striker, I don't know. But 60 million for a player of Eze's talent, a game changer like that. So many games where we all agreed, whether you're a hater, a neutral, or Arsenal fan, so many games were just stale. It is lump the ball to Saka with 5 men around him and just hope for the best that he can get out of it. And so often, Saka does. But he can't do it every single time by himself. Now, you've got Eze there as well. A complete other option. Someone that can dribble 3-4 men at a time. He can lift shots beyond just like hitting the keeper like a P-roller. He can put shots top bins. He can bag free kicks as well. Him and Declan Rice together taking freaks. Who's going to take it? We don't know. So big signing for them. This defo changes a lot in terms of Premier League predictions. I think the top 3 now have had fantastic windows. And it could be anyone's title. They all have exciting players now too. Arsenal, I'd say, probably had the best defence to start with. Now you got that bit of je ne sais quoi going forward as well. The last thing that I believe is lacking is a bit of pacing behind, a bit of speed there. We'll see whether or not BERTA does that. As for Spurs, condolences. I can't lie. This was the perfect signing for Spurs. Maddison's out. It's a London boy, homegrown geezer, someone that again can link up in multiple positions where left wing they've lost a superstar in Son, X Factor player, if you will, that when he's on form, he's the guy you look to. Nobody in the 10 because Kulusevski is also out injured, who would play 10 or right wing sometimes. So right now, it's looking at just Kudus. That's it really, guys. The X Factor in that team. So unfortunately for Spurs fans, all those compilations you are making, they're going to be used now by the Arsenal fans. It's crazy. They were screaming, it's Eze Day, Eze Day. And like my man said, it's Eze Day. But for who? Guys, I genuinely, deep what has happened here. Honestly. The fact that Arsenal wrapped this up so quickly, a team that has been known for taking ages. I can't find the exact tweet. I think it may have been from that Hand of Arsenal guy. So supposedly Eze was at like a New Balance promo shoot or whatever when he got the call. He decided, Arsenal, yeah, bring it. And obviously, like, it's bare loud in there, right? Because again, there's bare people that are taking photos and the videos and They'd put different outfits and the New Balance trainers and boots and that. And so his agent's there on the phone like, yo, like, Ebbs, mate, like, it's Arsenal. What are you thinking? He just said, stop speaking, bro. Go to sign the contract. The guy, his agent, is there like, nah. So basically, they've said they want to pay you. I don't care what the amount is. Go and make it happen. Have you guys ever seen Arsenal linked with a player and that very same day you get the here we go? I think what makes this, the dopamine hit or the dopamine rush so extreme is obviously the fact that you are hijacking from Spurs. Me personally, I've seen some big hijacks in my time, right? I think back to DB Cooper 1971. He hijacked that plane, bags and bags of cash, 200k I think it was in dollars, bags of cash, jumped out the plane, disappeared into the night. We now know what the B stands for, maybe even the D. It's BERTA. He is the ultimate hijacker. He knew what he was doing all along, and my goodness, having seen what Edu was doing, when the window's open, he's posting on his Instagram story that he's flipping the burgers on the barbecue. Bro, get on the phone and start making deals. BERTA, on the other hand, I don't see him on Instagram flipping the burgers or, putting the sweet corn or something like that. I don't see any of that. However, it is important to note, Arsenal are still not selling guys. I mean, Spurs, maybe they can do you 50% off Fabio Vieira. You are in need of a 10. Vieira's in need of a club before the World Cup next year as well, so maybe you guys can shake hands and do a deal there. I don't know personally. What I do know is that this is one of the most embarrassing times to be a Spurs fan. Again, like I said, Sol Campbell 2001, for those of us who remember, that was bad. Arsenal winning the league at your stadium, for those of us who remember, that was bad. But this, in the social media era, I don't think they can live it down. And doesn't this show you that the Europa League is not as rated as you think it is? I don't want to disrespect competitions, right? So just hear me out on this. A trophy for being, what, the 33rd best team in Europe? Guys, people are, buying replica trophies. They're getting tattoos and medals of a second-rate tournament. Again, I don't mean to offend anybody here. I understand it's a European trophy. Obviously, everybody would love to win it. But you also have to understand, afterwards, it's like, okay, yeah, we won it now, cool. Move on, right? Because that would be like, you can't say, oh, European champions. Because then, why are Leeds not saying, oh, we're the English champions? They won the championship. They won the competition that was for the people that aren't good enough to be in the Premier League. 32 teams, you didn't get in there. So none of those teams played. None of them dropped down. You won the Europa League. Guys, nobody cares. So big up your thing. Enjoy. Have like a great day celebrating the Europa League. Big up Ange and whatnot. Fantastic to finally get a trophy. Daniel Levy has messed up. He has seen the woman of his dreams available. A 10, if you will. A 10 out of 10. Follow my analogy here. They're talking. Things are going well. The convo starts drying up. He starts doing, oh, good morning, how are you? Good morning, how are you? At some point, you got to realize when Eze stopped reciprocating, there's someone else on the phone. And that person is Mikel Arteta. It took one call for this guy to block Daniel Levy's number to say, you know what? My heart is set on Arsenal. Will Arsenal win the league with this? Do you guys think it's going to be second regardless? Will that propel them to even maybe a Champions League? Or do you think it'll be FA Cups, Carabaos, etc, etc? Let me know what you think. Some of these tweets, by the way, all I just did is type in Eze, and I can't lie. Look, they've even got the murals done. Eze dopamine worn off. Where's you see what I mean? Berta's got guys moving greedy, bro. How greedy? But he's not wrong. Newcastle, you don't want to go to Liverpool. Arsenal, 55 million. They got nothing left. They got nothing left. But yeah, congratulations to Arsenal, to Spurs. Let's be honest, guys. Is anyone surprised? No. But with that being said, obviously like the video. Let me know your thoughts. Is this the most embarrassing idea of getting Lil Bro'd? Where do Spurs get from here? Am I going to get 100k black by the end of the season? Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. In a bit. Bosh.